What's going on, everybody? It is 9:29. Welcome to Win by Losing in Stocks. I'm Lamont Tyson. I've got my charts set up. I've got the best stocks to be looking at if you like to trade with the Institutes of Trading. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm using TradingView for a broker. They are a prop firm so that I didn't have to risk my capital. There's my link. I'm using TradingView as my chart. And if you want to get a one-on-one with me to figure out how I put my little system together that seems to be taking me on an upward trajectory, just send me a message. And for those following me from my big channel, consider today a treat because I'm not going to do the stocks on this channel every single day. The stocks are going to be permanently on my stock channel because I don't want to mess up my SEO. But today you might see me sit here and not take a trade because it's a day before a holiday. Sometimes volumes and things like that are low. Sometimes people aren't doing a lot of movement. And today is a red day, ladies and gentlemen, which means nothing to the stocks themselves, but it means something to you as a trader. And so let's get ready to get to the charts and let me show you what I've got lined up. So far, as I go through my search in the morning, gas is leading today. So Chevron is on my list. Exxon is on my list. Walmart is on the list. Costco made the list. Apple made the list. And what else? Technically, Salesforce made the list. Microsoft made the list technically. LHX made the list. And Netflix made the list. I just didn't put them all up there because as I go through my process of elimination, ladies and gentlemen, I don't take a trade until maybe at best 9:55 because my process of elimination helps me better tailor where the markets are going and which stocks are going to be the best names for the way I like to trade. I like to trade 15-minute ORB, VWAP compression, 9 reclaim. That's my jam. And the first 15 minutes is just patient collecting data, seeing where the markets are going. And my whole statement is, as retail traders, we are a sailboat in the ocean with the Titanic. The Titanic is the market makers, hedge funds, and all them. Our goal is to not get in front of the Titanic and get chopped up like the iceberg that hit the Titanic. Our goal is to be beside or behind the Titanic, seeing which direction is going and riding the waves that it creates for being such a big organism, or should I say a big entity. And that's what we do here on this channel. That's what we do. So we'll sit back and we'll be patient and we'll see who's making a push. On a red day like today, where the VIX is, let's go back and check the VIX. The VIX is positive 10 right now. And if you don't know, my scale for how many shares I take when I trade is the VIX, the volatility scale. I like to see the VIX minus something, not positive anything. And so today is going to be my bare minimum share amount for whatever I do. So you're only going to see me do maybe at best 200 shares or something, at best, based on the size of my account, which is 200,000. At best, I'm doing 200 shares. And that is if I even take a trade. I've had a great week this week, ladies and gentlemen, in trading. And you don't want to mess that up by doing something stupid. And on days like today when you've got S&P is red, NQs are red, you got to be careful and just be patient. Definitely don't chase today. I tend to like days like this because it reinforces me to be patient. It reinforces me to get out of trades quickly. There's not a lot of indecision, not a lot of holding. I know once I hit a certain target, I'm gone. I'm not letting nothing run. Conditions don't favor the way I like to trade. I'm not a short trader. Today is a day for people who love to trade short. Now, eventually, will I learn to trade short? Yes, that's the plan. But right now, I'm building my banner under long. So if you see long on my flag, that's what I'm building. If this was Game of Thrones house, it's long, not long and short. And let me go ahead and finish right. Oh, by the way, for all you folks that love Elon Musk, they had Tesla deliveries. They are down. Tesla and that whole battery thing he's doing at the home is down. And folks, his deliveries and sales have been down the last 2 years. You know why? All this Sig Heil shit, all this supporting Trump to get out of lawsuits, all the racism. Don't nobody like that when you are dealing with something that is on the progressive side of policy. Period. Renewable energy, space, using the atmosphere and the sun to create energy for all mankind. That shit is for progressives. Republicans is in the cold. They want to cut out wind tunnels. Forget it, Elon. And right now he's hanging his hopes on the androids that he's building, the humanoids that he's building. And that's got a long time before that shakes out. And he's trying to do it on robo-taxi, which if a lot of progressives don't like you, Republicans didn't like you either until you came out acting like a schoolgirl, jumping around minus the cheerleading outfit for when Trump won. Bro, you better get it together. All right. It's 9:35. We still being patient. We're just seeing what's moving, what ain't. Let me go check on the tech names. Tech is just yuck. But it could always come back. It could always come back. And let me go check on LHX because that was doing, it was holding strength in the pre-market. So let's see what it's doing. LHX. Not bad. I didn't mark it up with my indicator, so let me go ahead and get ready to mark it up. It was Wednesday. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm marking the high of day from yesterday, and I also like to mark the low of yesterday, and then I like to mark the pre-market high and low. Those sometimes can be pivot points for equities. And, you know, you just kind of use those as a barometer to see if stocks move or behave a certain way around those areas. And if it do, it can kind of help guide you in your trading. Simple as that. Another thing I'm trying to do with this live stream every day, people, is to show you my journey. I'm kind of in that intermediate level where I've gone through that year of pain and I actually broke even. I didn't lose. I profited. Let me show you. I was using Lightspeed my first year, and I actually profited $200. That's after all the fees and commission. I made a profit, $200. And the average person doesn't get really good in stocks, making a huge profit until after 2 years. And that is with getting coaching from like the pros. And so I'm kind of in that cusp where I'm starting to show profitability on a regular basis, just using my system, not trying to go for home runs, just taking the base hits and letting each and every day, swinging that axe at the tree, stack up. And you can get my system if you want to get a one-on-one with me. This is the link right here. You'll see this. I'm a whole lot cheaper than the so-called gurus out there. And I won't say so-called because some of these guys out there are really good. But, you know, this system has been working for me. And with trading, it all comes down to the right system for you. Small caps wasn't it for me, as large caps, because I came from option trading. And then you've got to control the part that you can control, the mentality, coming, sitting down, being rested, being patient, not being emotional. And then all your criteria to either get in a stock and get out, you got to almost be robotic in that mindset. All right, so I had LH on my list. It's just about time for me to start checking my stocks, relative volumes. That's how I ultimately decide where I'm going. And so let me go ahead and mark up the ones I'm going to look at. I'm looking at Walmart, looking at Costco, looking at Apple, looking at ExxonMobil, looking at Chevron. Netflix is worth a look. And what else did I have on this list? CRM is worth a look. And I typically keep SPY on my list because on days like today, SPY can sneak up on you and be positive, show something good for you. And so I'm going to go ahead and add SPY to the list. And plus, SPY is something I love to trade because I know how it moves. Like it never usually trips me up that much. And at 9:45, we'll mark the opening range high, and then we'll see how things move from there. So pre-market, it's already beat pre-market, which is that's a good sign. That was pre-market right there. And that was pre-market low. All right, let's go see what we're doing. Let's get in here. And this tool I'm using is called Trade Ideas. It gives you real-time relative volume. And relative volume is the way I ultimately filter where I'm going to trade, because it kind of lets you know where the institutes are at. My rule for relative volume, if you do not have 1.5 or better up to 3, and sometimes even more than 3, I'm not trading you. Not even going to give you a look. That's not the type of stock I want to date. And so Microsoft did make the list too. And whoa, we're having a problem here. Relative volume is 1.55. So I can go ahead and tell you that's not going to make the list. That's too low already. And the relative volume, I know some of you guys saw it over here yesterday. Sometimes this thing will put it right here. So SPY's relative volume is 2.7. Okay. I might can work with that. And right below it is Apple. Apple's probably not going to make the list. I'll write it down anyway, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to get any love from me today. And CRM, well, as we move down this list, what is Amazon? Amazon definitely wouldn't make it. You have to add NVIDIA because that might make it. NVDA 2.28, even though that didn't make my strength list today. That's probably not going to make it. I don't like Meta, so I ain't putting it on the list anyway. I mean, it's got to be something good. Tesla is probably on the list for companies shorting it. Gold, high, but I'm probably not going to take no looks at that either. And the only other thing up here, maybe Palantir, let me see what that's doing. No, that's already out anyway. AMD is out. So we'll move on to my tier 2. And these are the gas names. So ConocoPhillips would be in play. My issue with that is oftentimes ConocoPhillips, when you take this company on a date, it loves to tease you. It loves to pretend like it's breaking out. And then all of a sudden, when it's time for it to pay for the date, it skips out on you. But I'll write it down. You got to be smart. On a day like today, you don't want to miss an opportunity. So I'll write it down anyway. And then the girls you can take on a date and count on. CVX. You can count on this one. So, and that's probably going to be my main trade anyway, because that was like top of my list. ExxonMobil, you guys saw, already had this. You can count on ExxonMobil. This is a good stock to date. They don't head fake you as bad as ConocoPhillips. And what else is on this page? I had Netflix on this page. Netflix is automatically off, so I can just go ahead and strike that off the list. So as of right now, folks, we've got Netflix is off the list. CRM is off the list. Apple barely made it. And I thought I had Walmart in here somewhere. Where is Walmart? Did I take Walmart off my list? I think I took Walmart. Where is Walmart? All right, let me go look on my tier 3 list. I got Walmart over here. So here's LHX off the list. Okay, let me just go ahead and add Walmart and Costco. WMT, there's Walmart. Boom, and let me go ahead and add Costco. One of my favorite places to shop at. All right, so there's Costco. It's definitely on the list, but it's expensive and it's going to probably have a high spread. But on defensive days like this, these consumer discretionary, see, Walmart is off the list. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As of right now, we are looking at SPY, NVIDIA. So let me change Walmart to NVIDIA, NVDA. All right, got that. And let me change this L3 Harris to, let's see what I got. I'm gonna change that one to Apple just to keep it on the list and see what happens in a little bit. But it's probably going to get cut. Yeah, it's probably going to get cut. But NVIDIA is looking good. NVIDIA is playing like a defensive name. And the ORB high already is up here, which means it's got room to run back up. And it was a good relative volume. Matter of fact, let me get ready to get my stuff set because I can take a trade on NVIDIA as long as it's got everything I want. Positive CVD, good. 62-cent high of day. It's got room to run up about $3. And why is that important? Because institutes want to make money. They want to have somewhere to go. And the relative strength on this was pretty good. But you're fighting the trend, ladies and gentlemen. You're fighting the trend of the market today. So technically, I should be looking at the gas names. That's what I should be looking at. As a trader who tends to do discretionary trading, I'm supposed to be looking at the gas names. And you might be saying, why? Okay, well, the gas futures, which is this CL, is double digit. So at the end of the day, I don't like to fight the market. I like to run with the market. And so my focus is probably going to be on the gas name. So I'm going to go ahead and put ConocoPhillips up here, even though I told y'all I don't like to date ConocoPhillips. It's a tease. I'm in it anyway. I'm going to take a look. And it's already breaking out. You wouldn't take the trade anywhere near this area, so don't even sweat that. Keeping an eye on SPY. I love going out with SPY. SPY treats me right. NVIDIA, let's see. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm going to take the NVIDIA thing. I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff set up for NVIDIA, NVDA. But I just know I got to be quick. Got to be quick. So I'm going to take NVIDIA for 250 shares. And I'm in at 172.46. So let me go ahead and put my line, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my stop ready. 172.46. And change that to green. And my stop is going to be right here, just below VWAP. Because that, to me, would be a break of structure if it can't hold. I'm going to say 171.80. And turn that red. All right. I'm already up really, really quick. I'll hold for a few more minutes. Let me just get my stop set in case something happens. 171.80. Stop is in place. All right. Now, folks, it just comes down to managing the trade. And right now, nothing is saying get out, but I might take some profit really, really quick because I don't want to be left holding the bag if it reverses. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scale out a little bit. I took 150 shares of my initial 250. So that's 100 shares left. And with that, I'm going to have to set a new stop because on this trading apparatus, if you put that stop in place and it goes back through it, this particular software will make you do a short. And I don't short. I already told you I don't short. All right. So I took a little profit. I took 150 shares off the table. And I'm going to just see if this thing can get the high of day with 100 shares. And so now I'm going to move my stop up. I'm going to kill the old stop. I'm going to kill that one. And I'm going to move my new stop up to break even. And then let's just see where it goes. The only thing I can do now is break even. I'm going to go to 172 point, I'm going to say 40. All right, my new stop is 172.40. And that way, folks, I don't lose any money, period. If it keeps running, great. If it doesn't, I've made money. And if I have to, I can jump out of this thing early. Now, some people would say I set that stop a little too short. I should have kept it down at the bottom, but I believe in getting profit. I don't like that. I mean, I took too many days sitting around here crying, tears in my eyes, because the thing went profitable. And instead of getting a little money out of it, I kept trying to go for the home run. And on a day like today is definitely not a go for the home run type of day. Not at all. Not at all. And if this thing were to lose strength, I still have time to go in and trade something else, and I'm already green. So that's how you got to look at it, folks, when you're trying to survive in the stock market. You got to think about that. So I'm already green, and I moved my stop up, 7 cents below 172.47. So I'm green either way you look at it. Now it just comes down to, can NVIDIA keep on holding the strength that it has, or is it look like it's going to stomp me out? Look at that. Okay, no, it didn't. Not quite. Not quite. Okay, we going back green. CVD is still green, so we're still doing good. Volume is still coming in. Volume is such an important indicator when you're taking a trade, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't learn nothing else from me, learn that volume is a great indicator for if they're moving into a stock or moving out. And I honestly think this thing is going to get back to high of day. And right before it gets to higher day, I will be pulling this last 100 shares. I'm not going to let it get too high of day. You pull out your profit in strength. And so far, structure is still good. The 9 EMA is still pointing up. I don't like that CVD is turning red on me. It's holding strength right now. It ain't stopped me out yet, but I consider myself lucky that I was able to get a little bit of a trade before 10:55. Because like I said, I usually don't trade till 10:55. And the only reason I took NVIDIA today is because the RSI was below 70. The CVD is positive, and it was green when I got in. And the volume return on this second candle when I got in was greater than 30% at the 2-minute mark. So that's what gave me the confidence. Those are my confluences. Those are all the things that gave me the confidence to take this trade when I did. And it looks like what they're doing right now, folks, is accumulating to get back up to higher day. That's what it looks like they're doing. They're just accumulating. And a seasoned trader who's not in the position I'm in right now, that seasoned trader probably would be adding. And I don't want to do that because I'm practicing how to let my runners run. But I've kind of already told you guys, on a day like today, you need to be just taking the profit as quickly as you can when you can. And if this candle doesn't go ahead and break on the hell out, I probably will go ahead and take what little bit of profits I got left, because I don't like those top and tails. I'm getting 2 top and tails. And the reason why I'm not giving up is because the CVD candle is still green, which means the buyers are still in control. They're still doing their thing. And so no need to jump out this shit, because it's getting ready. I think the markets are accumulating NVIDIA, and they're about to take us all the way up to about 173.50. And at that point, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be about $300 more for your boy on top of already profits I pulled. And I will get out of this thing. Or the smart play would be let 50 more shares rise. So I'll do that, because I've been trying to tell myself, nope, today is a red day. I like to get my profit and get in and get out. I ain't about to be practicing on a red day. You practice on a green day. Once this thing get up to that number, your boy is taking his profit, and your boy is going to say sayonara. And look, I told you, it looks like they was just accumulating. And that's what they were doing, ladies and gentlemen. They were just accumulating. And now they're making their move up. I'm getting ready to start taking some more profit, because that's what you do in this game. And once it gets to where I want it to be, I'll show you guys my P&L so that you can know that I really took the trade. Now, this area right here is where I should be taking some profit. And I'm getting ready to take all my profit, because you don't want this thing to start reversing back on you. The minute I see a bad sign, I'm taking all my profit and I'm running. Top and tails, don't do them, especially if the CVD turns red. But right now, folks, I'm in a good position. And if I really want to be prudent, what I should do is go ahead and take half of what I got left, scale on out, but I'm not, because I think I've got other opportunities in some other places. The reason I had confidence in this trade, it was going back up. It had room to grow. All my confluences were sitting in the right place, and I took advantage of it. You know what? I will just take half profit and see how far this thing can run, because I don't want to miss out. And the best way to not miss out is to just take a little bit of profit so your mind is not playing tricks on you. So I just took some more profit. I'm going to kill my old stock. And now I got 50 shares left. And let's see what it does around the high of day. Let's see what it does around high of day. So, folks, I started with 250 shares. And all right, if the CVD is red, no need to break. It hasn't broken structure yet. But I can tell you, I ain't sitting around long for it to go backwards with this being so early in the market. Red CVD, is it going to keep pushing to high of day? If not, I'm about to sayonara. No. Turn green for me, CVD. Let me see what volume is doing real quick. Volume is still moving. Am I going to hold it? Nope. I'm out. I took my last 50 shares out. I don't feel like holding. I still so early in the day. Let me show you the profits I made, starting with only 250 shares, ladies and gentlemen, just 250 shares. This is what I made. So as you can see, these are my trades on NVIDIA. Let me pull this up a little more. All right, so I started with 250, bought, had to pay 125 to buy those shares. I got in, got green, took 150 shares because I don't do the let it come back and blow me up no more. So 43 bucks there, 44 there, and then I let the rest ride for another 44. So about 150, 135 bucks. That's a great way to start the day. And I still got plenty of time to go see what's making a move, which SPY is probably, see why I keep SPY on my list, folks. I probably done lost that one. And let's just see what else is left for this is my normal final check for where the institutes are at and what the market is doing. And it's a blessing if I've already made some money prior to that. You don't get those opportunities all the time. So let's see. I traded NVIDIA. It's off the list. See what I'm saying? I got my trade when it was doing good, when the markets was with it. And as of now, it's off the list. So I take umbrage in that. It probably will start coming backwards sooner or later. Now, folks, just because the institutes aren't going into it heavy doesn't mean it won't run without you. It means it might be just more retailers in there. And I'd rather move with the Titanic as a retailer myself. So we got SPY still. Oh, shoot. SPY ain't on the list no more. Damn. That's my favorite girlfriend of these stocks. And SPY is not on the list. Microsoft ain't on the list. Okay, so folks, it comes down to it's going to be an oil and gas day. Let me just go see where is Apple? Apple tends to act like a defensive name. Apple is off the list, ladies and gentlemen. So buy NVIDIA, buy Apple, buy SPY. Wow. So it's like I said, it's an oil and gas day. I got lucky to grab ConocoPhillips off the list. All right, CVX still on the list. ConocoPhillips off. ExxonMobil still on the list. Okay. And the only other thing that made it through the morning is Costco. So let me get rid of ConocoPhillips and let's go see what Costco is doing. Tier number 3, Costco. Costco is still on the list. All right, people. The final three is CVX, ExxonMobil, and Costco. And if you had to pick which way to go, you probably want to go with the gas names because the CL gas future is double digits, holding strong. And discretionary spending is holding strong with Costco. But the problem with Costco, people, the spread on Costco gets ridiculous. Let me go see what the spread is real quick. The spread on this thing, ladies and gentlemen, is 49 cents. And honestly, well, wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. It's $1. And that's a little too rich for my blood. So that's an eliminating factor right there. So I won't be trading that. It comes down to either ExxonMobil, which one of these will give me a run back up to the opening range break. And both of these are looking prime to do it. You just got to be patient. So let's mark the high of day so far. High of day is way up here on this one. And ExxonMobil's high of day is right there. Boom. All right. So I've got my trades. I've got the two stocks I'm going to look at. I went on ahead. I got a little cash from NVIDIA early. And, you know, some people would say, well, Lamont, if you never would have scaled, you'd probably be walking away with like 300 some odd dollars. And folks, that is true. That is completely true. But I have learned my lesson too many times that once you get green, you got to take a little bit because you never know how the markets might swing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep NVIDIA on a chart just to kind of prove the point. Well, my point is proven wrong because NVIDIA is still going up. I should have held on to that runner I had. And I told you guys that's a flaw. That's a flaw in my game. I'm just not going to hold my runners that long. And I had no reason to let the runner out because structure hadn't completely broken. I was too busy looking at my P&L. That was my error. That was the error. So when I do the recap on this trade today, I'm going to say to you, my error was I chickened out way too early. Let me put a line here so I'll know I got out somewhere around this area. And what's out? Let me see here. What would I say is out? I don't want to use orange. I'm already using that. And I'm already using green. Damn, it ain't no more colors to use. Let's go blue. All right. So when I come back and do my recap, that'll be my point of knowing where I got in and got out at. And it was silly. Let me take a screen capture so that I can do my data analysis on my trade later. So I've got that. And now, folks, we'll come back and we'll just keep an eye on what's going on over here. What's going on with the VIX? Let's see, what is the VIX doing? VIX is coming down a little bit. Still not to the point where I'll be taking max shares. And with both of these gas names, I can take 1,000 shares on each. And just like NVIDIA, I could have took 1,000 shares on that. But I told you on a day like today, with the VIX being what it is, quarter shares for me, ladies and gentlemen, risk management. Risk management. Risk management. So right now of ExxonMobil and CVX, ExxonMobil is in a better position for me because the buyers are the more aggressive people today because the CVD is positive. It's on the buyer side. However, that chart is not matching up with it, which just could mean that when it hits its bottom, it'll make a return. On the other hand, CVX is barely below CVD. And if it can give you a couple of candles and you can see how it behaves around positive CVD territory, this could become another trade. And so just going to sit here and be patient. And then the other thing is you'll be trading right around the pre-market high. You'll be trading right around VWAP, which is great places to have your stops. And then you still got room to run. Let's see here. If you get in around that area, you still got $1 you can run. And the ATR is about a range of 84 cents. So just be patient. Just be patient. Just be patient. And I'm getting ready to pull down the video because I don't want to hurt myself thinking, man, you should have kept that runner. But this is the punishment I'm going to continue to take until I learn to start letting my runners run. And I think that one of these days I'm going to test out this. They have a trail stop of $1. And once I'm green enough, I need to just test that out because I am missing out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm missing out on probably, at the very least, each and every day I'm missing out on $150, which adds up. If you 150 times 5 days, you do the math. On top of what I've already won, I'm missing out, and I've got to start trusting my system because you guys see that every day. If you've been coming with me all this week, there is no problem with me finding the stock of where the institutes are located. You've seen me jump in every stock and win every day this week. And not a problem. My problem is when I get my winners, I've got to trust to let them run. And right now, I don't. Now, if I was in light speed, they have you can kind of set the number for how much you let the thing trail a little better than $1 trail. And I don't want to do $1 trail. I think for me, I would do the ATR trail. I would do something like, if the ATR is 67 cents, depending upon how much that trail is, I would do it like that. And then the other thing I've done wrong with the trail is I took more than half. I'm supposed to be working on just taking half, get in, get green, move my stop up to break even, and then, progressively take more profit along the way. Because that's another way I'm missing out on money. And so, yeah, I'm missing out on the NVIDIA ride today. I found the stock, I figured it out, but I'm missing out on the ride. But that's cool. It's cool for me, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting there. That's all that matters. I know that real soon I'm going to be hitting y'all in the head. Y'all going to be like, I saw that boy right before he started making millions. For those of you that are following, that's what you'll be saying. And this is the kind of the dance that you do with gas, ladies and gentlemen. This is why sometimes I tend not to fool around with gas. Because I just got finished talking about how ConocoPhillips gives you a head fake during the market hours. In essence, all of them do it, but if you're going to get in one during the market hours, open hours, the two to mess around with would be Exxon and Chevron. But the problem is gas tends to do very, very well, and I mean very well, in pre-market, and then all of a sudden at the open, boom, it drops. And I'm not a trader who sits at the desk. I don't think I've sat at this desk longer than noon in any of my day trades. And the reason why is because I'm going through a whole lot of drama in my life right now. I am still trying to work out and get them cuts for the sluts back. I make these videos. I've got a YouTube channel that's 400,000 odd. Got to keep that going. And the lifeblood of what I'm really going to be trying to do is trading. And I need to start committing more than just 5:30 to about noon in doing. I've got to start sitting down because I'm probably missing opportunities in the afternoon. But as long as I know how to get into the stock, find the right stock. Half the battle is finding the right stock. And then the other half of the battle, this is the secrets that most gurus don't tell you. Finding the right stock is half the battle. And then another 25 to 30% of the battle is finding what stock has positive CVD, especially if you're someone like me who does not like to try to read the level 2. I've tried it. It gets on my nerves. I can see size coming up and all that, but some of these move too fast. Even though they color coordinate them on your brokers, still it moves a little too fast for me. So CVD has been the savior for me in terms of understanding who's controlling the bids more, buyers or sellers. So if you guys don't learn nothing from me, nothing else, just know if you can find the right stock to trade and you can stay on the positive side of CVD, you are 70% away from having a good trade on that day. Now, of course, there's always outliers, always outliers. You still got to know other signs to look at to get in. You still got to understand the whole picture, the macro of the market, and you still got to use your discipline on entries and exits. But that can definitely help you with it. And again, like I said, if you want to come and just learn my whole system, I think I can teach you my whole system in 30 minutes. Here's the link. Link is right there. Hit me up. I'm using Trade the Pool. That's my prop firm. They've got several packages you can use no matter where you're at in trading. You get a 10-day trial. And if you really want to stretch that 10-day trial out, you can do like I do. I use every single email I had to practice for a little bit after I took a big loss. I took a big loss of about $3,000. And instead of being devastated and saying I'm done, I just kept practicing every day after that. I kept practicing. I kept refining my system. I kept finding nuances in my system to be better. And next thing you know, during the month of March, I traded every day the stock market was open. And I only had 3 losses. And I don't say that because 3 losses is like good. I say that because my system is helping me pick the right stocks. It doesn't matter if I lost more than I won, as long as I made more money on those losses. I mean, as long as I made more money on the wins than what I lost on the losses, I could have lost 7 times and only won 3. As long as those 3 were good, I'm good. But the problem is for me, that would hurt because that's almost like you've got to have 3 home runs. And my game is not the home run unless it's the home run day. The last 3 days in the market have been home run days based on my system. You had negative VIX, strong negative VIX. Strong negative VIX is max shares for me. And even then, ladies and gentlemen, I still didn't take max shares. Still didn't. I took half shares. And the goal was to take those half shares, get green, get out and let half run. And I still didn't do that. I only let a quarter run. And that's because I'm scarred from previous bad experiences. But at the end of the day, folks, you can do it, definitely. And you might be looking at the end of the day for me. It's unless NVIDIA can hold at least a 1.3 relative volume by noon, I'm not touching it. And then it's kind of extended already. VWAP is 172. The 9 EMA is 174.28, and price is at 174.37. It's already broken ORB high, which I pulled profit prior to that. So my profit I pulled was somewhere around right here. That's what the blue line represents. So I got in 250 shares at 172.47. I got out with $1 of profit. And so instead of making $250, I made about 140, 45-ish. But my emotions was in check. I wasn't sitting here sweating bullets the whole time. And, sometimes that's more important to win profit and keep your emotions in check than to be sweating bullets trying to get the max profit. Doesn't look like these gas and oil names is going to come back, folks. This chart is looking more like a chart for a short trader. Both of them. And now ExxonMobil has gone down below pre-market lows. So the shorts are having a good old time with this one. And I will give this thing probably about 15 more minutes. And then your boy is gone. So let me just go back and check the relative volumes. Can't touch that. Costco still looks good, but folks, I told you, let me show you the spread on Costco. So the spread on Costco is about 80 cents. Not only is the spread pretty steep for me, the stock is trending in the wrong direction. So I'm not even going to pull that back up on the chart. Yep, oil, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to trade this, these are probably pre-market plays, better pre-market plays. Just sitting, being patient. Things might be a wrap for me today. I don't like giving back profit. No matter if it's $2, I don't like giving it back. Because there are a lot of moving parts that you got to contend with when you jump into the stocks itself. And I do not like giving profits back. Miss me with that one. While we sit here, do you guys have any big plans for this Easter holiday if you're celebrating? Just let me know. For me, this is my weekend with the kids. Gonna figure out something to do with those little rugrats. Have some fun. Hopefully the weather's not too bad. Hit a couple of parks. Might take my daughter to go see Super Mario Brothers 2. And then back to the mama. Daddy can rest. Get ready for the next week. Keep it moving. Keep trying to improve on this game and wait for YouTube to quit messing around throttling my political channel. So hopefully that'll be resolved. That'll be resolved in hopefully about 4 more days. Then things will start taking back off over there again the way it was when some of y'all first met me. Sorry I missed your message, Mana F. Musa. Hi, I'm saying hi to you late, about 12 minutes late, but thank you for coming through and just leaving a message. I appreciate you. Good looking out. I guess eventually when you start seeing me do crazy numbers each and every day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000, I guess that's when people will start to pile up in here and listen to a brother. As much as I hear folks complain that they want to see what people were doing, you know, either when things were bad or right when they start taking off, I'm in the moment where things are starting to take off. And I hope people can catch this and not come back later when I'm talking on somebody's podcast how I took my first trade and made $40,000, $50,000. And then next thing you know, I'm a millionaire in 6 months. Trading is not that easy. It's a long walk. The sooner you start learning, the better off you'll be in the future. And I have put some time into this thing to come up with what I'm doing. And it's just not the Lamborghinis and things that you might think it is. It's a learning process. So it's a sharp learning process. But at the same time, folks, it can be done. It for sure can be done. Yep. Gas is definitely off the list. NVIDIA continues to break my heart, but that is my fault that I won't trust runners. I mean, let's see here. 172. If I were to let those 50 shares run, I would be looking at another $200 for almost a $500 day. I've got to start trusting those runners, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to. Or what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to set a stop and I'm going to have to walk away and just be comfortable. Because at the end of the day, if I got in and I got green and my stop is higher than the break-even point, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I guess that's where that cliche came from. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I've got to start doing, especially when I'm only leaving a quarter size to run. I'm just being stupid at this point by not letting it run. All right, folks, you've got my trade for today. Again, if you missed it, I traded, let me slide this over. I caught NVIDIA very early. And let me pull this up. I caught NVIDIA very early at like 9:40-ish. Let me see if I can pull that over so you can see the full time. Yeah, there you go. I caught NVIDIA at 9:46, 250 shares. Since the market was red today, I did not want to hold full time. And so the minute I got green, I pulled 150 shares. I left 100 to run. And the stupid thing I did was I pulled another 50 the minute it looked like it was going to go backwards, when I should have just trusted my stop because I was already up. I had pulled enough shares that I wasn't going to break even if I moved my stop to where I got in initially at. I was not going to break. I would still be profitable, just not as much. And so by doing that, folks, I've missed out on possibly another $600. I've got to learn to trust my stops. I've got to learn, because that is the difference between me scaling up right now as a force in trading and continuing to be like, low fish trader, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video. You've caught me green each and every day this week. You've kind of starting to understand why I do what I do, why I take the trades I trade. And I'm being just a little bit too conservative, especially when I know I'm green. I've got to do better. But if you want to get up with me, you want to do a one-on-one, there's a link. I'm pretty cheap. I'm like $50. You can learn my system. That's the prop firm I'm using, Trade the Pool. I would tell you, click that link. You don't have to buy anything. Just give them an email. You can test out the system, and they give you different tiers of money. And once you pass the evaluation, you're making money on your own. Please be sure to subscribe to my political channel. That's what it looks like. This is my movie and TV breakdown channel. And of course, if you're watching me from my Win by Losing in Stocks channel, I thank you for doing it. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, which will be Monday, markets are closed tomorrow. Happy Easter. I'll see you.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.